News 7, the 6 o'clock edition is next.
In the next 30 minutes, these stories.
This Navy training frigate is named for an American hero and a Hattiesburg native and has a new home in Mobile.
The city of Laurel says goodbye to a former police chief.
Breaking the cycle of teen pregnancy is the focus of part 5 of our series.
In sports, Southern Mississippi improves to 6-3. Details at 21 after the hour.
And in weather, a chance of rain and thunderstorms are back in the forecast for the weekend.
Stay with us. News 7, the 6 o'clock edition, is next.
And they're off. The 93s are in. Come to Carl Toyota Jeep Eagle in Laurel and see the full line of new 93s and experience the cutting edge. Plus, take a look at the 92 models left on the lot with huge discounts. Every windshield is clearly marked with Carl's no-hassle closeout prices. At Carl Toyota Jeep Eagle, the sales and service department understand how important you are. Service is king because you're the reason we're here. So come on to Carl Toyota Jeep Eagle in Laurel, where total customer satisfaction is our goal.
This is Congressman Sonny Montgomery asking for your vote and support on November the 3rd. I seek the opportunity to continue to serve you in a capable manner. I pledge my efforts to reduce your tax burden and work for a strong economy to give jobs and better wages for all Mississippians. Your vote and support on November the 3rd for Sonny Montgomery will be greatly appreciated.
WDAM-TV, Laurel, Hattiesburg, South Mississippi. This is News 7, 6 o'clock edition.
A Navy frigate named for a Korean War hero and a Hattiesburg native has a new home tonight.
Jesse L. Brown was the first black fighter pilot and the first black man to be shot down in military combat.
It's October 30th. This is the 6 o'clock edition of News 7. Good evening. I'm Bob Noonan.
And I'm Leslie Sykes.
In the news tonight, for the family of Jesse L. Brown, its ship has come in. Jesse Brown was a Hattiesburg native who was the Navy's first black aviator and the first black naval officer to die in the Korean War. Today, the Navy frigate, the USS Jesse L. Brown, docked at its new home port in Mobile, Alabama. Hattiesburg Mayor Ed Morgan, Brown's widow, and members of Brown's family joined the frigate's crew for a docking ceremony.
Just hope everybody, all the young men will take a pattern after this and try to do something similar because it's worthwhile to defend your country for what you believe in.
Jesse Brown was 24 years old when he was shot down and killed by enemy fire on December 4th, 1950.
The city of Laurel has lost one of its very own. Former Police Chief Roy Landrum died at his home early this morning after a bout with brain cancer. Earlier this year, Landrum retired from the police force on medical disability following sick leave and a decision not to continue chemotherapy. Funeral services are scheduled for 2 p.m. Saturday at Tucker's Crossing Baptist Church. Visitation is tonight from 6 to 9 at Memorial Chapel in Laurel. Landrum died at age 43.
Those who worked with former Chief Landrum were shaken up by his death today. Some of them said his 20 years of service to the city will never be forgotten. Both Laurel Mayor Henry Bucklew and newly appointed Police Chief Jamie Bush say Landrum will truly be missed.
Roy Landrum was the symbol of a person that was not only qualified but totally committed and morally clean, and he was professionally trained and fearless. And he cared about people.
Well, it's a loss to us, and it's a loss to the community. Roy was a good law enforcement officer, and he started out here almost 20 years ago on the police department and spent the majority of his career working narcotics.
Landrum started off as a patrolman for the city of Laurel, then became prosecutor, and then moved up to the ranks to become chief of police.
18 top high school marching bands will show their stuff during the Bands of America's Southern Regional Championship tomorrow at USM, and area merchants are anticipating big offshoot profits. Between 10 and 12,000 spectators are expected to watch the day-long spectacle from the stands of M.M. Roberts Stadium. Of course, fans and bands' most basic needs include places to stay, and according to one innkeeper, they're all especially welcome this time of year.
You know, we're just getting on the downside of the tourist season, the summer season, and when this happens, we're full this weekend and just always happy to see folks coming to Hattiesburg. We have one band from Middleburg High School in Middleburg, Florida with us this weekend, and they are occupying 82 of our rooms here, so it's quite a good-sized band.
Is that the only band?
Harrison Central and 4 other Mississippi marching bands are among those who will vie for a chance to compete in this year's national competition.
In politics tonight, the state Senate race for District 45 is heating up for the November 3rd election. Both the Democratic incumbent Rick Lambert and his Republican challenger, Steve Seal, appeared on News 7's Morning Edition today. Their stand on the lottery was among the issues discussed.
Your view on the...
Whatever the people vote, then that would be my position if reelected to the Senate to go, and then if the people want a lottery, then I'll go and vote to institute one. If the people do not want one, then I'll go up and support that position also.
I'm personally opposed to the lottery. In the past, most of the talk about the lottery has been tied to education and support of education. Now the people have a right to vote on it, and I think Rick's correct. I think definition of representative government is to go up there and vote the people's will. But you got...
All week long, we had a number of candidates on our Morning Edition this week. The winner of all races will be decided on Tuesday. Voters in 8 area counties will decide next Tuesday if they want to change their form of county government.
And as Steve Williams reports, the referendum on the unit system is one item you'll want to read carefully before you mark your ballot.
The referendum will appear on the ballot in these 8 counties: Clark, Forest, Jones, Lamar, Lincoln, Pike, Simpson, and Stone. These counties are now operating under the unit system of road administration. That means all the building of roads and fixing of potholes throughout your county is centralized in one office, with a road manager appointed by the Board of Supervisors in charge. Supporters claim the unit system spends tax dollars more efficiently. You'll find this question on your ballot. Do you want to require the county to operate under the county-wide system of road administration? Yes or no? If you vote yes, you're voting to keep the unit system in place. If you vote no, you're voting to return your county to the beat system of road management. Until 1989, most counties operated under the beat system. It makes each of the 5 supervisors responsible for keeping up the roads in his own beat. Supporters say the beat system offers better service to the people. The choice is yours next Tuesday. Stephen Williams, News 7.
It'll take a simple majority of the votes cast to keep the unit system or switch back to the beat system.
Still to come on the 6 o'clock edition, we'll have part 5 of our series on teen pregnancies.
And the city of Hattiesburg has fun while raising money for the United Way. Stay with us.
Hello. Pardon me. Had a problem with your credit? You can't get a home loan? Don't pay attention to you anymore? Gee, that must really get to you. Bet you don't even want to think about it, do you? Probably makes you want to go ape. I thought you'd like that one. Well, if we were you, pal, we'd bank with us.
The state's teen pregnancy rate continues to reach far beyond national statistics, and the cost to support teen mothers and their children was more than $200 million last year.
Tonight, Teresa Kessler joins us to wrap up her series with a look at our state's future if that trend continues. TK?
Well, Bob and Leslie, some health and government officials aren't painting a pretty picture because teen pregnancy is linked to some other social problems.
Teen pregnancy, when you have over 1 out of 5 births, or to 10 to 18-year-old girls in Mississippi, then you set the stage for a growing economic underclass. You set the stage for there to be rapidly escalating crime.
So why doesn't legislation divert money into preventing teen pregnancy? Senator Jim Bean says legislators need to prioritize government spending, but says legislators alone can't resolve the problem.
When the public demands that there be a resolution, if there is a resolution available to government, then certainly the legislature will act. Now, the answer is from the home and the church and the school.
Resolving the problem is complicated and it will take time, but everyone we spoke with agrees it's a community problem and the answer lies within the family, educating its children about their choices and responsibilities. Executive Director of one community program helping teen mothers, Rose Harrell, says teen pregnancy affects everyone one way or another.
We're going to have triple pregnancies. Right now we're already having double pregnancies at 8th and 9th grade. So if you look at 8th and 9th graders with 2 children, what do you expect the 6th and 7th graders are going to have?
So what should we, the community, do? Harrell and other government and health officials say simply open a line of communication to teens. Talk about issues and concerns before they become costly problems.
The parents should be responsible.
We know there are lots of reasons why teens get pregnant, but they know few reasons or few methods in preventing it. Families need to educate their children. The cost to all of us is too high to continue this trend, and ignoring it, there's really no reason to ignore it. We should look for more ways to prevent the problem from continuing to get out of control. Bob and Leslie?
All right, Teresa, very good series, and some of the teenagers in our next story may want to heed some of that advice.
Okay. Thanks, Teresa.
You're welcome.
Hattiesburg High is gearing up to celebrate homecoming tonight. A parade this afternoon complete with bands, floats, a law enforcement escort, and homecoming maids wound through streets close to downtown. The Hattiesburg High Tigers take on Gulfport tonight in football. Homecoming festivities tonight include crowning a homecoming queen at halftime and a dance.
And Hattiesburg police and firefighters declared war on each other today, all for a good cause, of course. The battleground was Camper Park, and the war was actually a tug of war with the biggest and the brawniest of both forces matching weight and strength. It was all part of Hattiesburg municipal employees' fun day for United Way, the wrap-up of a campaign that's raised more than $10,000. When all was said and done, the police bested the firefighters in 3 out of 3 tugs, but the police victory was short-lived when they were eventually beaten by city barn employees. Of course, my New Yorkese was coming out. Cause and course, and falls back every so often, especially on Fridays.
How's Halloween looking, Kim?
It's looking pretty good. We don't expect a lot of downpours, but some just scattered showers, isolated thunderstorms. Nothing that would upset Halloween. It's better than, you know, downpours.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see you in just a minute then.
This portion of News 7 at 6 has been sponsored in part by Magnolia Federal Bank, Mississippi's family bank.
There's no doubt about it. Mississippians are proud of their homes and the events that take place in them. Magnolia Federal Bank has helped generations of customers with a variety of home loans and refinancing. We offer the best home loans in Mississippi, which is why we'd like you to remember, when you find the perfect house and decide to call it home, call Magnolia Federal Bank. Oh, and keep those snapshots coming.
Monday on midday, it's our Election 92 preview, a look at some of the resolutions on your ballot and some of the key races to watch. We hope you'll join us for the preview Monday.
Here are the current numbers at Channel 7. The temperature is 68 degrees, winds calm, dew point 64, relative humidity 73%, and the barometric pressure is 29.90, holding steady. For rainfall today, we had 0.39. That adds to our monthly total of 2.97. We've almost reached 3 inches. The high was 72 degrees with a low of 63 degrees. Let's look at the temperatures around the state now. Mostly everybody's in the lower 70s. We're in the upper 60s. Here we are at 68 degrees, 70 in Meridian, 71 in Jackson, 71 on the coast, and 72 in Macomb. Putting the clouds into motion, we see there's a lot of cloud coverage over the state right now, and that's because of a high-pressure system and a warm front that's lingering right here over the Memphis area and the Mississippi state line. So as long as that pressure system is right there, we're going to have a lot of cloud coverage and give us a chance of some scattered showers and thunderstorms. We can look at that at another map. Here it is on the current map. Here's that low-pressure system I was telling you about, and notice all the precipitation that's over the state. We have about a 30% chance of rain tonight. It'll mostly come after midnight. So we just have to keep an eye on that. This is a stationary front, which means it's not going anywhere, and as long as it stays there, we can expect some rainfall. For tomorrow, it looks like the state is pretty much clear, and tomorrow's Halloween, so it may look good, but remember that there's some precipitation down here in the Gulf of Mexico, and as long as this low-pressure system is right here to the west of us, that means we have a chance for some scattered showers and thunderstorms. So that's just something to keep in mind. So if you're out trying to trick-or-treat tomorrow, it really depends on where you are and whether or not you're going to see any rain. For the extended forecast, we have a lot of the wet stuff over Mississippi on Sunday and Monday, and we can expect at least a 50% chance of rain on Sunday and Monday. That cold front's going to swing down. It's a rather weak cold front, so we're not going to get any reductions in temperature until next week maybe. And this low-pressure system, as long as it stays there over us, we are going to see some rain. Let's look at tonight's forecast. We're calling for mostly cloudy skies with a 30% chance of showers and thunderstorms. Tonight around midnight, with that low-lying clouds, we should see some fog developing. So if you're going to do some early morning driving, you might want to be careful. The low will be 62 degrees for tonight. And for tomorrow, becoming cloudy with a 30% chance of afternoon showers, a high of 87 degrees. And for tomorrow night, partly cloudy with a 20% chance of isolated showers. So that's what I was telling you about on Halloween. You know, it just depends on where you are and whether you're going to see any rain. A low of 68 degrees. Let's look at the extended forecast. On Sunday, we're calling for partly cloudy skies with a 50% chance of rain, high 76 degrees. On Monday and Tuesday, partly cloudy again with a chance of rain. So there you have it, Leslie.
All right.
You know, I like that confidence. Tracy stuck his head in just as we were going on the air and says, "It's going to rain tonight." He's running out to one of the football games. He wants to make sure he's not going to get drenched. And you said no rain.
All right.
Not till after midnight.
Okay.
That's what she's talking about.
Thanks, Kim. Just ahead on News 7, an adoption story that will warm your heart.
And doors slam, floors creak, and lights turn off and on. This isn't a prank, but a real haunted house in Ellisville.
In his 12 years as governor, Bill Clinton has doubled his state's debt, doubled government spending, and signed the largest tax increase in his state's history. Yet his state remains the 45th worst in which to work, the 45th worst for children. It has the worst environmental policy, and the FBI says Arkansas had America's biggest increase in the rate of serious crime. And now Bill Clinton wants to do for America what he's done for Arkansas. America can't take that risk.
Hudson Salvage Center Laurel has just received a drugstore stock for the insurance company in Miami, all selling at 40% off. You'll find a great selection of cleaning supplies, makeup, paper products, health and beauty aids, snacks, and much more selling at 40% off at Hudson's in Laurel. You'll find brand names such as Coty, L'Oreal, Almay, Charmin, Bounty, Scott, Johnson & Johnson, Hormel, and much more, all selling fast at 40% off. Hurry to Hudson Salvage Center Laurel, Sawmill Road, where people meet bargains.
As a truck company for 90 years, we understand the value of a strong frame. A reassuring strength for towing, whether you're on road or off road. GMC Truck, the strength of experience.
Halloween, and that means some of us will run into ghosts and goblins this weekend.
Most of the ghouls we'll see are nothing more than neighborhood kids dressed up for trick-or-treat, unless you're going up to the Sykes house. But as John Cox reports, you might see just the real thing in one Ellisville home.
The famous Bell Witch still roams the hills near Springfield, Tennessee. McRaven, a beautiful antebellum home in Vicksburg, Mississippi, is haunted by a ghost. The King's Tavern Inn in Natchez has its own resident spook. Well, right here in Jones County, there's a house with a haunting history all its own. The Amos Deason home in Ellisville, which was built around 1845, was the scene during the War for Southern Independence of a murder that some say still leaves its evidence today.
When I was 17, my second cousin, Francis Smith, would let me have pallet parties in this room. And this is where Nick Knight supposedly slipped up to the door and shot Major McLemore, and his blood fell on the floor, and on creepy rainy nights, supposedly, the blood would come back up and show. And I would have girls over here to spend the night, and it seemed like every time I did, it would just rain and pour. And Weldon, Francis's husband, would sling open the door at midnight, and I would wake up the next morning, and all the girls would have called their mother, and they'd be home. And I'd be the only one left here.
There's an old Scottish prayer that goes, from ghosties and goblins and long-leggedy beasties and things that go bump in the night, dear Lord, protect us. In this season of Halloween, we should all remember that there are those places where things do go bump in the night. In Ellisville at the Deason House, I'm John Cox for News 7.
Deason home is owned today by the Tallahassee chapter of the Daughters of the American Revolution and will be open for tours Saturday as part of the Heritage Celebration that in Ellisville.
They call it puppy love, but in this case it involves a cat who's adopted 2 puppies. The heartwarming adoption is apparent at the Chris Posey Chevrolet Nissan Body Shop in Laurel. Mouser, the mother, just had a litter of 6 kittens 6 weeks ago, but she was more than willing to add on these 2 orphan Chihuahua pups who lost their mom a few days ago.
One of the girls in the office dog passed away. We've had 2 puppies 2 weeks old. So we thought, well, we got one chance to possibly save the puppies. So we brought them down here and put her with the puppies with the cat. She took to them right off, cleaned them, washed them. She's feeding them, nursing them, and they just seem to be one big happy family now.
The cat-dog adoption is only temporary. Once the puppies are weaned, they'll return to the owner.
You don't think they'll be meowing when they're finished, do you?
Hope not.
Climbing trees.
Still to come on the 6 o'clock edition, Pearl River remains undefeated with a win over Southwest.
And a preview of Week 9 of the high school football season. Mitch joins us with all the sports up next.
Gene Taylor works hard for South Mississippi and gets results. Through his work with government surplus, he's helped our police forces get over $1 million in equipment, transferred at no cost from the Department of Defense. Helped the Manor Creek Volunteer Fire Department in Wayne County get a 2.5-ton truck from the Army at no charge. And 5 trucks have been transferred to the George and Greene County Drug Task Force at no cost, cutting waste and getting the most for your tax dollars. Gene Taylor, South Mississippi's choice for U.S. Congress.
Everyone misses someone. Everyone needs to hear the news.
When you need to hear the news, you can count on South Central Bell. We handle most of the calls you make, including long distance in your calling zone. Calls that bring you closer to the ones you love. It's just one more way we make your life a touch easier.
Hello, everyone. South Central Bell. Yeah.
Barbecue? Right now? Baggett? McDonald's? Hey, McRib. Now you're talking. Mm-hmm.
What you want is what you get at McDonald's today. Sure.
That's right, South Mississippi. McRib is back at McDonald's for a limited time. But you better hurry before McRib is gone.
There we are.
There
the
we are,
Eagles
right.
did real well.
Yes, they did really play well, did everything Coach Bauer wanted them to do for a win, and you want to do it on national TV.
They shut down a big offense.
Yeah, best team, 3rd best team in the nation. The Eagles really looked good. They knew that we knew that the Southern defense was awesome, but last night we saw USM offense play perhaps its best game.
And an easy 6.
Coach Jeff Bauer said his game plan was to run the football. The Eagles earned 13 points in the first half, partly because of a 32-yard field goal by Lance Nations and this 50-yarder by Johnny Lomoro. The Eagles scored 25 points in the second frame, just running that ball down the field. Michael Welch looked like he could win the Heisman this night. Welch was 169 yards rushing and a touchdown that put the Eagles over the top. East Carolina knew the game was over when Collins native Chris Buckhalter ripped through the line for 20 yards and a score. Coach Jeff Bauer couldn't have asked for a better effort.
Offensively making some big plays, running the football, staying out in the field like we knew we had to. And then we did some good things in the kicking game, kicking 3 field goals. We covered kicks well. Just an overall team effort.
Southern stole 7 balls away from the East Carolina offense, leaving no doubt that this football team can stop anybody from scoring. East Carolina was the 3rd best passing team in the nation coming into last night's game. Somebody didn't tell the Pirates that Southern is ranked 5th nationally in defensing the pass. Eagles play Virginia Tech in Blacksburg next week. Meanwhile, Pearl River's Wildcats are still undefeated after thrashing Southwest. The homestanding Bears were trying to get fired up to take on the nation's 5th-ranked team, but Pearl River thought nothing of it. Big Chris Ryan, 265-pound fullback, had 179 yards rushing on 29 carries. And the Wildcat defense came to play, limiting Southwest to just 6 points in the final half. Pearl River winning 37-16. Meanwhile, in Stone County, the Tomcats celebrated homecoming and looked to stay alive in the playoff picture, but Larry Easterling's team was down 13-0 in the first half. In the second half, the Cats came back on a Wilbert Petty 1-yard run. However, Stone would not score again. Tim Booker would come back and respond for Coach David Abercrombie's Tigers. He takes off on his own 48-yard line and comes into your living room and goes the rest of the way. Collins still has a hope for a playoff spot. Collins winning over Stone 32-8. Live tonight, Coach David Abercrombie of Collins on Sports Journal. It's a great weekend of matchups. Gulfport takes on Hattiesburg. It's homecoming at D.I. Patrick Stadium. Homecoming as well at Laurel. A win for the Tornadoes, and remarkably, Laurel could go to the playoffs after an 0-5 start. North Forest and Taylorsville may be the best matchup in the area, and West Marion and Collins are old-timey rivals. Now, don't forget the playoffs have started for the academies. Columbia Academy and Prentice Christian are in action tonight. Highlights of these games and more on the Journal. Meanwhile, high school softball playoffs began on Thursday. Northeast Jones played Petal. Northeast Jones got things going early. Darlene Holder roping one to left. Amy Parker would come around to score to make it 2-0 Northeast. But the Tigers were not finished. Carrie Reed boops one to shallow center. Petal can't make the play. 2 runs would cross Northeast, eliminated Petal, winning 2 games out of 3. And Bob, also congratulations to Forest County. They're in the playoffs as well, beating Franklin County. Tony Perez, the new manager of the Cincinnati Reds.
Bring back the old Big Red Machine.
The true red, true blood.
All right, Mitch, thank you.
You're welcome.
Forward to Sports Journal tonight.
All right.
When we come back, Kim Evans will have the quick forecast for Saturday.
She says an umbrella might need to be part of the Halloween costume.
Fred just goes ape over Halloween. Why, the best costumes are just $2.99. Hershey Kisses, Almond Joys and Mounds, $1.49. And Pumpkin Baskets, only 99 cents. Why, there's even safety flashlights for $1.49. Peanut Butter Kisses, just 88 cents. And the Chickasaw Broom, great, but which is just $2.99. Oh, Fred, shoot, shoot, shoot.
Fred's, the lowest prices today, every day.
As chairman of the Senate Finance Committee, Rick Lambert has made good things happen for Hattiesburg. Senator Lambert took on the challenge of funding education and won. He's provided additional monies for USM, funded a new public library, and lots of things to make life better. The voice of big business in Mississippi supported and funded Senator Lambert's opponent. Maybe they want to do something else with your money. Rick Lambert, State Senate.
It's highlights of 15 high school football games and scores of 30 others on a Friday night, plus a visit from Jeff, Billy, Jackie, and a host of others on a college football Saturday, second to none. Sports Journal is back for the 3rd successive season with more action, more interviews, more scores. Sponsored by Phillips Building Supply in Laurel and Ellisville and Dub Herring in Picayune. You'll get a season full of excitement. Sports Journal, the only place you get a ton of sports, week in, week out.
A group in Hattiesburg is cooking up a storm, getting food ready for some of the voters on Tuesday, and that's all in the interest of charity. We'll find out about it on Mondays, live at 5.
All right, the pressure's on. Halloween forecast. I know my son is dependent on you.
Well, maybe some scattered showers, nothing very heavy. A 30% chance of showers tonight after midnight. Fog developing, so be careful if you're driving, and a low of 62 degrees. So it really depends on where you are.
Okay. What's he going to be?
He's going to be a clown, just like his dad.
So cute.
Just like his dad.
Ooh, Bob. Coming up tonight at 10, we'll have more on the expected economic impact from the Bands of America tournament to be held in Hattiesburg tomorrow. Also on the Night Beat, animal shelters and vets are saying no to the adoption of certain animals this weekend. We'll tell you why. Join us for those stories, plus Sports Journal tonight at 10.
And one program note, tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock to 9:30, a program called Our Future.
Right.
About 20 kids, 5th through 9th grade in our studio, talking to representatives from the Clinton, Perot, and Bush camps.
Oh, yeah.
About what politics, as they see it through their eyes.
It's going to be really
cool. Leave the adults out of it. Let's get to the kids. So news for now. I'm Bob Noonan.
And I'm Leslie Sykes.
Follow us here at News 7. Have a great evening. We'll see you on the Night Beat.